Hi and welcome. Today it's a cold and snowy day here in British Columbia, and I'm developing a load for my next hunting season in 308. I'm working with 165 Interlock by Hornady, 168 Amax bullet that I bought, not sure why, but I'm gonna try it anyways. And Spear 180, which is a really nice bullet. All of these are boat tails. I should try some just Spitzer points, but next time. This time I'm trying these boat tails and developing a load bit by bit. I'll explain my setup in 1 second. So this is my CZ550 in 308, as I already said, and I've got my chrono set up about probably 14 feet away. I took a couple shots already, and you can see some of the registered velocities, 25 something. It's not bad. It's just starting the loads. And my target is way out there. It's at 100 yards. It's not way out there, but it's standard 100 yards. And what I like to do is instead of using the sight-in targets, I like to just put tape on the plywood or something and aim for the corners or sharp points rather than bullseyes. Gives me a better point of aim, and aim small, miss small, right? So this is what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna fire off the rounds and show you the record of ballistic software that comes with the chrono, and it shows standard deviation and whatnot, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I shot all the groups. I had basically a variation between 42.5 to 44.5 grains of Varget in my loads with 165 Interlock. That was my first set that I tried, and I'm just going to show you the groups, and I think you'll see the clear winner right off the bat. Okay, so 42.5, a flyer. That could have been me. It's not a. Could have been a good group, but it's hard to say. 43. Again, it's, I tried my best to shoot, but this is definitely not a group we like. 43.5 again. Two side by side, or then probably a quarter, well, 3/8 of an inch. 44, about an inch and a half. And look at this, 44.5. 3 bullets and pretty much the same hole. I think this is it. I might want to try and shoot 43.5 a little bit more, just to see, and also check the standard deviation. It's that will confirm whether it's me shooting poorly or the load is off. So alright, well, I'm letting the barrel cool down. A little bit more about my setup. A butt warmer is essential in snowy British Columbia. Shooting Amaxes right now, and I've got it stepped up from 42 to about 44.5 of Varget. This is again my CZ550 in 308, and the Nikon P308 scope. I like the scope. It does quite well. The turrets are sometimes they give me grief when I'm hiking. I tend to knock them down, so I'll tape them when I'm hiking around. And so every group of 3, I will run the snake through the barrel and let it cool down, and then continue shooting. So right now I think it's still just not hot or anything, but it's just body temperature. Let it cool down a little bit more. I got this Caldwell app on my phone. I really highly recommend it. It's an amazing tool. Like you see in my images from the groups that I'm shooting, I may not be the best shot, and I might have a flyer, but the standard deviation will tell me if my group is very consistent and the standard deviation is low 2 or single digit, then I'm just a bad shot, and it's worth trying that group again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to review them all once I get home and pick out any of the best groups and compare them to my target and see what's going on. Alright, so we're done shooting Amaxes. I'm just going to go over and see what the target looks like. I could see through the scope that there's some good groups, and we're going to take a look and just confirm that. Alright, well, this is interesting. My 44 grain shot raised the point of impact to where my 43 hit, although I was aiming here, so almost 2 inches. And 44.5 was point of aim was here, and it raised the point of impact hugely. It's not a bad group, but I could feel the difference in recoil. And you know what, for the beautiful group I get at 42.5 and 43, I don't need that, and neither does my rifle. So I think this was a good exercise. Next one will be spear, but I'm going to take a break. Okay, so I'm back from the cold, and I'm just going to turn the camera towards my computer and my phone, and I'll show you some of the data that I've collected, and hopefully it's of interest to you. And I wouldn't advise anybody to duplicate anything I'm doing, other than I just want to share the process rather than the actual results. Everybody's rifle is different, everybody's setup and loads are different, so I don't think it's safe to duplicate anybody's loads, but I just want to share the steps that I'm taking to examine my loads and my groups. And so let's just take a look at the results using. Okay, so here on my phone you can see the sets, the groups that I've shot, and so here I've named them with the bullet that I've shot, Interlock 165, 165 grain, and here it gives me SD's standard deviation. And what's interesting, you can scroll through it and take a look at the lowest value. So here, standard deviation is 5.2. That's very, very good in my books. And I did not enter the group size. I'm gonna still do that. Let me see, so this is 44 Varget and 44 grains. I know that my group, my best group, was actually 44.5. 44 was close second, but this maybe means that I've taken a bad shot, and maybe I should try and load it again, because it just showed such a good standard deviation. Feel free to chime in and tell me if it means something to you or not, but I think with such low standard deviation I should have been able to get a better group, so it may be worth another try. Now if I scroll through my Amax groups, the lowest standard deviation is 7.2. If I look at that, it's again 43. My best group was 42.5 and 43. They're basically identical. They're a nice, very nice clover leaves, and I think 43 having such low standard deviation is a very good load to just replicate for myself, and that's what I'm going to try. So I think this is a very good tool. I will explore it further and take some pictures of my group so I have a full record, even with pictures and measurements. I haven't explored it enough to make a very complete record, but I will try. Another interesting thing that I'd like to show you is, let's pick this group. This was my best group with an Amax, and you can see my average velocity was 2643, and over here I just like to compare it to the Hodgdon's website. They don't have an Amax or load data for Amax. The closest that they have is 168 Sierra or Barnes, and the maximum velocity is 2730 something. So 2643 for 43 grains versus 46 compressed and 45 compressed. I think it's very good. It's safe in my rifle. It's comfortable load to shoot. I'm gonna go with it. I'm happy with that load. And let's just take a look at 165. So 165 maximum velocity is 2773, 46 compressed. My load was 44.5, and let's just find it and get the maximum velocity was 2730. So I think that's excellent. I think I got maximum out of that load, again without putting undue stress on my rifle, and giving myself a more powerful recoil. So I'm happy with both loads. Amax, I'm not sure how I feel about Amax being a hunting bullet. Interlock is certainly a better hunting bullet in my books. Amax is frangible, soft. I may use it on long range shots. Yeah, something past 200 yards. I think reduced velocity will tame down its frangibility. And I mentioned before that I wasn't sure why I even bought Amax, but I remembered. I bought it because it was on sale. That's as simple as that. I looked at 30 caliber bullets on sale. It was a very good price. I thought, what the heck, I'll buy it, try it out. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use it for hunting that much. I'll try it anyways. Well, that's what I found out about my combinations of Hornady bullets and Varget. And next one is Spear, and I think I'll do a separate video on it, just because this is getting a little bit too long, and we'll continue next time.